Hey there! Today we'll have a look at another Franklin-Christoph pen. And what I really like is that they don't do gift boxes anymore, they do something else. Little cardboard box, business card, warranty card, black and blue cartridges, and whoops, a zippered leather pouch. And I like that because it gives you something to store your pen in and take it along with you. I think it's cool. I'd rather have this than a cardboard box that I then throw out. So that's very neat. Franklin-Christoph sent me these pens to review. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And today we'll have a look at this pen. And this pen, it's clearly a pocket pen. It's the Model 45. This was the cherry ice finish. And the interesting thing is that it has a special nib that you can order. It's something I think Franklin-Christoph came up with, called, I've written it down because I keep forgetting, SIG, the Stub Italic Gradient. And the idea is that depending on your writing angle you get more or less of a stub. Cherry ice, well chosen. I don't know how well you can see it, you never know with light and cameras, but it's definitely, it looks a bit like ice cream, for sure. Cute little pen. I'm going to cover the parts, tell what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and I'll do a writing sample. Now what I should say is that this was one of the original price offering, what we call it, initial price offerings, IPOs, and they say that they're going to be in stock, but not at that price, but a slightly higher price before. And I don't know that price yet, so I can't comment on the price. Usually Franklin-Christoph pens are fairly affordable. Top of the cap has the Franklin-Christoph logo. I'm just trying to, there you go, they can see it in the light. Cap, transparent, and it's marked here with IPO for the initial price offering, and Franklin-Christoph 45. Yeah, that's all it says. We have a barrel. Clearly this pen's been eyedropped. That's always a nice thing, a lot of ink. You can see it tapers down. That's pretty much it, nothing fancy. We have the, I always like the Franklin-Christoph sections. It's a bit of an hourglass shape, and then they flare out a bit, and then you have the threads at the top there, and there you have that nib. This is their high performance steel nib. Now what I really like about those threads in the front, that's the pen. There isn't really anything else to say about it. What I like about those threads in the front is that you don't touch them, right? Because your fingers are behind them, whereas usually threads are behind your fingers, so you do feel them. That's really cool. There is a bit of a step down. It's a little sharp, but it's not as bad as in some other models like the Model 66 that I've used at Franklin-Christoph. So that I really like. Clearly a very small pen, not really intended to be used like this. You post it, then you have a decently sized pen, and it posts reliably. It doesn't screw in place the cap, but it's definitely on there, secure enough to shake it around a bit. Wouldn't recommend it, but you could if you have to. And then you have a decently sized pen. Now clearly this is a bit more of a girly model with this type of color. Also small, maybe nice for smaller hands, for purses, etc. But it's a pocket pen, and I know people go insanely berserk over pocket pens, and there's something to be said for them. They're fun, you can quickly throw them in a pocket, you know, as I said, a purse, a little bag, etc. It's very nice. Of course the issue is they can roll around a lot, and if you eyedropper them and they do accidentally open, you have a serious spillage incident. But, you know, like living on the edge, innit? It's a cute pen, and I think I mean, there isn't that much I can say about it. It's well constructed. It's a Franklin-Christoph pen. I have yet to see a Franklin-Christoph that's poorly made. They're handmade pens. I think they're nice. And this is a cute little addition. So I like it. I like the postability. I would be slightly worried because you have to push this in quite deeply. I would be a little worried about the cap cracking. There's no center band or anything. You do have to push that on there. Time will tell if that really happens. I think it's nice. That nib is interesting. I don't know if I really see the, you know, how that it's extremely innovative, because I'm not really getting the point of the nib maybe. But it is a cute nib. It is a fun nib to play with, that's for sure. And it writes well, and I think that's the most important part of any fountain pen. It should write, and it should write well. So there you have it. Can't say anything more. I like it. It's small, it's pocketable, it's fun, it's eyedropperable. What more could you wish for? I hope this was useful so far. We should do a writing sample. Measurements of the pen as well as high resolution pictures will be on the website sbrebrown.com. Check it out there. we'll do a writing sample. Thanks a lot again to Franklin-Christoph for sending me this pen. I appreciate it. And I'll gladly see you later. Bye bye. Okay, so here we go with the Franklin-Christoph Model 45 initial price offering, and this is that gradient stub italic nib, so let's have some fun with that. Right now I'm just using my normal writing angle. The nib is pretty smooth, it flows well. The ink is Franklin-Christoph Spanish Blue, by the way, sorry. And it works, so it writes well, bit of fast writing. No issues there, and as you can see, nice bit of line variation. Now, one thing before we start playing, wetness. It's Rhodia paper, and it's a pretty wet nib. What about this gradient? Well, I'm going to start with a pen pretty much perpendicular to the paper, and I'm going to reduce the angle like that. You see, that's what you get. So, like this, it's a pretty nice italic, big difference between the downstrokes and the side strokes, and more perpendicular to the paper, that difference appears to be smaller. Of course, you have to be a bit careful because it is a sort of flattened nib, so at some point it just gets broader again, I suppose. But it's an interesting concept. I don't know if this is really my type of nib, and if I would really be interested in really requiring something like that. I guess that's the point. But it's interesting to offer that in a nib. At least it's innovative. Of course, you have the Sailor Zoom nibs, etc., but they just go from wide to narrow. This is a different thing altogether. So I do like that. Okay, reverse writing, it's not really feasible, as you can see. So, a kind thank you to Franklin-Christoph for sending me this pen. I appreciate it. I hope this review was useful, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye bye.